Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, we're going to have a little bit of fun today. I came up with 5 round 1 trade ideas that I thought made some sense for the Raiders if they're looking to trade back. Who knows? Maybe I even have a few trades for the Raiders if they are trying to move up into round 1. If you're excited about the NFL draft, if you want to be able to hang out with Jeremy Chuggs and I and the entire Chat Sports team for the NFL draft, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your notifications are turned on. You're going to get the picks here on this channel before you will see them on TV. That I can guarantee you. So the way that I'm going to end up doing this show is I'm going to outline a bunch of different trades. I'm going to tell you why the other team would do it. I'm going to tell you why the Raiders would do it. And then I'm going to tell you which players that we could potentially be looking at after making that deal. The first trade that I'm going to bring up here is trading back to number 8 with the Carolina Panthers. This is not a secret to me. I want the Raiders to trade back. I've been wanting them to trade back. I want more draft capital. I want more picks overall. The reason why that you could do this is to stock up on some of those picks. Maybe get one of the ones back from the Geno Smith trade. Why Carolina would want to do this is they need a defensive tackle desperately, and all they've tried to do this entire offseason is build around Bryce Young. Maybe they want to trade up for a Shedeur McMillan. Maybe they want to trade up for somebody like Mason Graham. The Panthers have 5 picks in rounds 4 to 5 and none in round 6. That makes me think because I know the Raiders have 3 picks in round 6. So here's the first trade idea that I decided to cook up here. Raiders get pick number 8. You get their 3rd round pick, number 74, and you also get a 4th round pick at 114. The Panthers, they get one of your 3 6th round picks, 213. The Raiders also have 180, and they have 215. Every trade that you're going to see is a trade that I would end up doing, and it is also a trade that is fair or equal according to the trade value chart. If the Silver and Black decide to make this move, you're going to be able to obviously get some of those extra picks, which I have been saying. The top 120 prospects to me are very interesting, and then there's a little bit of a fall off. I'm trying to get more picks in that. For the pick, though, at number 8, I believe anybody on this screen could potentially be there. Maybe you want to go running back. Maybe you want to go offensive line. Maybe you want to go wide receiver. There's some other names that we'll break down as well that the Raiders could potentially look at. So let me know down below. It's going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Will the Raiders make a round 1 trade? If you think that there's no doubt that they're going to make a trade, I want you to type trade down below. And since you're watching this show, I'll see what trade you put together. If you're like, nah, man, we talk about this every year, they're going to end up keeping it, please, I'll be looking down in the comments. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go, if I was a betting man, Raiders are probably going to keep them picks. We talk every single offseason about trades, but let's not get it twisted. There is an opportunity this year because I don't think trades are going to be costing nearly as much as what we've seen in years past, and I'm a man that likes a good deal. So if we can move back, I'm on board for it. Let's go to another trade here, and this one, just hopping back one spot, the New Orleans Saints, and you have to always think of why would a team want to move up. To me, the Saints, I know that they got Derek Carr, and if you're a Derek Carr lover, that's totally fine. But what if this team wanted somebody like Shedeur Sanders? I just saw a mock draft the other day that they took Jackson Dart at number 9. Believe me, it could be a Will Levis, Malik Willis situation where a quarterback's going to end up sliding. They need cornerback help. Jahdae Barron, Will Johnson. They need wide receiver help. Somebody like a Shedeur McMillan. The Saints have 4 picks in rounds 3 to 4, but they only have 1 pick in round 5 or 6. So the trade that I decided to cook up here for New Orleans is, even though we don't get a second, being able to get 2 third-round picks, which then essentially gives us 6 picks in the top 108, that's a lot of really good value for a team that is investing in knowing you're going to need a lot of help in the draft to be able to retool this team. New Orleans gets your number 6, and we'll throw them a 6th-round pick at number 180. Yeah, I don't really want to lose that one, but if it means I can get 3 extra picks here in that area, I am on freaking board for it. In terms of the players that are available, it's going to be the exact same names that I just showed you, and maybe 1 or 2 of these guys isn't on the board, but I do think at 9, you would be able to pick from at least one of the players that you see on screen right now. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but we got a brand new sponsor, and I got to show some love to House of Atlas because the other day, I swear to you, I was at a wedding, and somebody looked at me, and they're like, dude, you kind of got this Bradley Cooper thing going on, and that's because of House of Atlas making me look great. Our sponsor today is House of Atlas, a brand new razor company that just hit the market. They actually gave me one of their new razors to try out, and it's honestly the nicest looking razor I have ever owned. But more importantly, it shaves my face great thanks to its 5 high-quality blades and high-performance serum strip. The blade head has 5 U.S.-made stainless steel blades that glide right through my facial hair. It has a high-performance serum strip that is infused with ingredients like aloe, vitamin E, shea butter, which reduces irritation and helps prevent ingrowns. And the coolest part is its precision trim edge that's revealed by flipping back the serum strip for straight edges and detailing. I've also really been liking their shaving cream, thick formula that allows me where I can see exactly where I'm shaving, and it's going to leave my face feeling baby bottom soft. Actually, I tried the shave cream the other night, and when I went to that friend's wedding that I was just talking about with Alex, and I was smelling great, and, well, I got a lick from Chuck, so the good thing is that he approves, and I approve of it as well. Their aftershave is awesome too, so if it doesn't burn like that old school aftershave, but it does have that nice cooling sensation, and it smells really good. And for now, you got a limited time. They're offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit, and you're going to get the before and after set, which is included in the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money on one-time shaving products that don't look good and that aren't effective and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you're going to love it. Alex did, Chuck did, and I think that everybody that's watching the show can see I got some pretty good facial hair as far as I'm concerned. It's one of my favorite things, and I wanted to be able to show y'all what it looks like. I do think that this is important because Alex is the woman where, I'll be real, not that I don't care about the way things look, but for Alex, when it's in our bathroom, she's like, it's got to look good. And the fact that it's got to look good for Alex, she's happy, I'm happy, and I know a lot of y'all would be happy. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. If it's what I use for right before a wedding, I think that all y'all can see. I look pretty damn good. Let's go to the next trade coming up here on today's show. It is a trade back with the Dallas Cowboys at number 12. And, you know, maybe if I didn't put the Cowboys one in here, I've been talking about a Cowboys trade for a while, and maybe this is the one that doesn't make sense, but it also makes sense because you never know what Jerry Jones is going to do. And that's why I think that this could happen. If you told me right now who's the team in round 1 that trades up for Shedeur Sanders, I think it's Dallas because Jerry wants that money in his pocket. He's got that relationship with Dion. Who's the one team that might want to trade up for somebody like Ashton Jeanty? I think it potentially could be somebody like Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have 7 picks also in rounds 5 to 7. That is a lot of picks, and maybe that's what the Cowboys want. And I said earlier in the show that I didn't think that the value of certain players as late as what that is in the draft is all that good. I could see a team like Dallas taking some of those picks and going, you know what? Can I package some of these to try to move up and go get somebody because those picks overall might not have that much value? So if the Cowboys wanted to go up to number 6, Dallas, you get number 6. Because I think the only way that they're doing this is if they are legitimately trying to get a quarterback or running back, or you know what? I'll say this out loud. The agent who is the agent of Micah Parsons, that agent has been getting the highest paid contracts left and right. What if Micah wants Myles Garrett type of money and Jerry's too cheap to do it after paying Dak Prescott last season, and now they're going to go out and try to get an edge at number 6. So the Raiders here, you get pick number 12. You get another second-round pick at number 40, and then you're going to get another fifth-round pick at 171. Where the hell do I sign up? If this is a trade that ends up going down, I do actually think that the players that I could see the Raiders looking at here, Jahdae Barron, I'm telling y'all right now, he's going to be a sleeper pick for the Raiders, a Swiss Army knife on defense. Will Johnson, another good corner, though. He's at Michigan. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. Armin Membaugh, y'all know how I feel about him. I don't know if McMillan's still going to be on the board here. We'll see. But Jihad Campbell, I know Campbell's dealing with a shoulder injury, but linebacker, edge, all of these unbelievable pieces overall. I know the Raiders like Jihad a lot. it might still be a little bit early to consider taking him here. The real names that I would look at, Will Johnson, Jahdae Barron, two players that Pete Carroll, this organization, does like quite a bit. Let's go to another trade here, and it is the Buccaneers at 19. Here's the thing, though. This trade that I'm talking about does not involve the number 6 pick. I do think that there is a world of a possibility where the Raiders try to get back into round 1 and trade up into it to go out and get a wide receiver. I'll tell you who I think that wide receiver is here in a moment, because when you make a trade for Geno Smith, you got to be able to get another receiver. It's been very well documented that this team has been looking for another number 1. I am recording this video, by the way, on Friday. If the Raiders end up signing or going out and making a big-time trade Friday or Saturday, whenever it ends up going down, then I don't know about it here. In my mind, though, you got Jacoby, you got Brock Bowers. After that, there's a lot of unknowns. And if you're the Raiders, you would potentially take that deal, go up, and make a trade with somebody that you have a relationship with, because we know Spytek and Brady has got a relationship with Tampa Bay. What's also important is Denver needs a wide receiver. Chargers need a wide receiver. Green Bay need a wide receiver. Those picks are 20, 21, 23, and 24. So if you're going to get a receiver, and if there's a guy that you want, and I think there would be a certain guy that they would do this for, you'd have to hop up and get it done. So here's the trade that ends up going down. The Raiders get pick number 19. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get your 2nd and 4th this year, which is 37, 108. And the biggest need for Tampa Bay is linebacker and edge. I think Tyree Wilson kind of fits that mold. I don't really want to give up on Wilson, but if you also don't want to have to throw in a 3rd-round pick, because then for the Raiders, technically, you wouldn't have any picks left anymore in those first 4 rounds. I don't want that to happen. I would want the Raiders to have another pick. And to me, they would only do this, I really think, for one player and one player only. So before I tell you who I believe that player would be, let me know down below, if the Raiders trade back into round 1, who do you think it would be for? And it's a tough question. It's a not very likely of a question. It's not very likely of an answer. But there is always a possibility of everything. That's what the NFL has taught me. So if the Raiders trade back into round 1, who's it going to be? My answer coming up here after this YouTube ad break. Sometimes when you want something, you got to overspend for it a little bit. And I could see Chip Kelly trying to get Emeka Egbuka on this staff. I also say that because Ohio State wide receivers, they come into the NFL most of the time and they're ready to go. And Emeka can do a bunch of that stuff. When you watch the Geno Smith film, and hopefully a lot of y'all have, the amount of times he relied on somebody like a Jackson Smith and Jigba, it was over and over and over again, because that guy can run a complete route tree. So can Emeka Egbuka. So when you make a deal like that, you got to think, I got to get Geno Smith something. I've already traded for him. Chip Kelly, this is a receiver that I think is maybe the best complete wide receiver route tree guy that I know personally. For that reason, I could see them trying to go up and get that deal done. Let's go to another trade up here idea, and it involves the Minnesota Vikings at pick number 24. I have the Vikings in here, not really as like the Raiders are going to try to go up and trade for somebody, but if you told me right now which team is the most likely to trade out of round 1, which I don't know if y'all know this, it's like the first time since 1993 that all 32 teams have their first round pick and nobody's traded away. I could see Minnesota potentially doing that because they only have 4 picks this year. So when you only have 4 picks, sometimes a team tries to trade back to accumulate just some more picks. Minnesota's biggest need, cornerback, offensive line, and when I look at a lot of the prospects in that area, there's some good offensive linemen. The corners aren't nearly as strong, though, in that group right there, where you could maybe get one a little bit later on. So the deal would end up looking something like this. Minnesota ends up getting pick 37. The Vikings also get 68, which, again, like, if you're going to do this, you better go get somebody that you know for a fact is one of your guys. And then also you're going to have to throw in a 5th-round pick. It's a little bit much that I would want to do, but it is something that if there is a player that the Raiders go, that's a Pete Carroll guy, that's a Spytek guy, that's a me guy, that's typically when you see somebody trade back into the end of round 1. Maybe it's Emeka Egbuka. You know what it also could be? Could also be a quarterback, right? Like, if we talk all the time about QBs going high, QBs going high. We've seen QBs slide. What if Shedeur is here at 24 and that's somebody this team likes? What if Jackson Dart is there and that's somebody that this team likes? Both of those guys are met with the Raiders at the NFL Combine, and the only quarterbacks that I would say the Raiders met with that could potentially go in round one, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. All the other QBs that they ended up meeting with were all day 3 quarterbacks in my book. So to me, if they're going to trade back into round one, it has to be for Geno Smith of some sort, or it has to be for a long-term plan, or else I don't really know why they would end up doing it. So I'm going to roll through these trades one more time, and if you want to let me know down below, you can see there is a number next to the trade. Which trade is the best option, and which one out of all of these is your favorite? And you also got to keep in mind, like, which player you're going to be able to get in round one. If I'm being 100% honest of which deal is my personal favorite, I could sit up here and I could poke at the fact that I love the Cowboys trade, I love the Carolina one, I love the Saints one. I personally would not be somebody that trades back into round one because I think that you can still find some value, and I would believe in myself to be able to find that value. But for the Raiders, if they want to trade back in round one, I am all board ahead. I think it's a smart move. I think it's what a smart organization would do, and this team has been operating in a very smart way all offseason. So a trade back, got my stamp of approval.